Myth 2.0, the podcast. And always remember, gentlemen, it's a mother movie. So today, we know there's a lot of people out there who are not living to their full potential. Let me say that again. There's a lot of people out there not living to their full potential. Usually, depending on your lifestyle and the way your immediate family structure is raised, 9 times out of 10, I won't fall too far from the tree. So, we're going to be talking about my personal perspective on what I've been through personally and why you shouldn't let your family and immediate and your friends talk you out of you living the greatest life that God has meant for you, you know. So there's a lot of people out there that you know that you probably done been through this, you know. Um, I know for a fact that most modern American people are held back in life from their family and friends. Okay, so let's get myself for perspective first. Hold on, I'm looking for my lighter. Looking for my lighter. I don't know what happened to it, but this happens sometimes. Where is the lighter? Okay, 1 second, guys. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's take myself for example. So I was raised in a family. My family's from Memphis, Tennessee, and I have my mom's side of the family from Memphis. That's where I was raised. And my dad's side is from Louisiana, and it's two different types of lifestyles, you know. So on one side is Section A, food stamps, thug life mentality, and just live life without actually making any type of plans for yourself and just hope that you end up successful magically. And that's not gonna work. So the second thing is, guys, on my dad's side of the family, we had two different types of people. We had the same type of people that I had on my mom's side, who didn't really care, you know, didn't really have any goals. But a lot more people on my father's side took their lives into their own hands, and they created businesses. They got master's degrees. Some of them went to colleges and played for major. I got one uncle who played for the NFL. People went to college and they became some of themselves, you know. So that's why I'm here to tell you today that a lot of times family and friends, they don't necessarily, you know, understand how to navigate through life. You know, I learned that from watching my mom. You know, I learned that from watching my mom and teaching my mom as I got older. I used to always wonder and realize, like, why are you in this situation? You know, why are you still working a job at 35, 40 years old? You know, when they got plenty of people out there who have chose to do the right things in their life, and they're where they need to be at in life. They don't have to work as hard as we did. So what I notice is that a lot of people place their fears on you. A lot of people place their fears and their theories of life on you. And I'm telling you guys, do not waste your time. All advice is not good advice. Just because somebody tells you something doesn't make it accurate. I remember in my neighborhood in Memphis being young, it was gangbanging. It was everybody I talked to, I couldn't do nothing but soak up everything bad. You know, all the guys talking about, and my friends, everybody talking about gangbanging. They're talking about different types of firearms and etc. You know, and this has a lot to do with the generational curse that I've been talking about in the black community. How we soak up things as children like sponges. And in the black community, if 9 times out of 10, most of us think exactly the same. It's just like I used to think that I came up with words and stuff when I was young in Memphis. And then next thing you know, I I go to Atlanta. I heard people saying stuff that I said when I was younger, and everybody that made this new term. So I'm like, okay, I need to get back. I need to sit back and focus. You know, I need to sit back and focus. A lot of people in my community, in my family, didn't know if they were coming or going. And this might be you as well. Yes, they had homes. Yes, they had cars. Yes, they partied all the time. You know, um, and if you're not strong-minded enough to fight through being raised in a certain type of family structure, then a lot of times that's when you end up in the same position that a lot of us black men have been in. Jail, prisons, jail, prisons. We don't want to talk about the guys who, didn't make it, not here today. But a lot of us, a lot of guys end up listening to friends and family who don't necessarily know how to navigate through life. So what happens is that if imagine you being 5 years old, or imagine you being like I started smoking when I was 12, 13, something like that. So imagine being 12, 13, just going through puberty or whatever, and everybody around you, your uncles, your cousins, we're looking at Boys in the Hood movies, like, and they're not really talking about, okay, you're 12 or 13, it's time for you to go hit the gym and learn about basketball and learn about football, because now you can go to the NFL. It's not as hard as people think it is. You know, if you apply yourself, even if you fail from going to the NFL, just by doing something positive, you're still gonna land somewhere more successful than most of us ended up in. And I'm here to tell you that I'm not the best person in the world. I didn't have a clean slate of doing righteous and going to work and wanting to go to work and wanting to play sports and really learning how life is really supposed to be lived. You know, I ended up falling in line later on in life, and that's what I'm saying. And that's how we get left behind. We get left behind like that. I've been left behind. Like other people who did it the right way, you know, and there's not too many people out there doing it the right way as well. And that's why I'm making this video. So that's why you have to listen to yourself. And if you're gonna listen to anybody, listen to somebody who is doing better than you. I remember I used to be green and when I was younger, and anything people said, I didn't know how to determine whether this dude is telling me the truth or not. You know, if like a guy will come to you and say, "Oh man, if you get you some, you smoke weed, go get you some green, and sell it and stuff like that." When you ain't even got to do it like that, you know, you ain't gotta want to be a rapper. You know, you ain't gotta be the class clown in the classroom like I was. Not knowing no better. Not being mature and not being mature on up until my adulthood, all through my young adult age, the prime time of my adult stage, where I should have been in Calabasas at college, you know what I'm saying, got a job, got some homegirls, no, I decided to be the class clown. I decided that the things that I heard in the streets were facts, and this was the way of life. This was the way a modern American black man, this is what I'm destined to be. And this left me in the dirt. It left me in the dirt. It put me in a position that most people can't escape. Meaning, I was homeless. I was homeless for years, off and on, for months at a time, in different hoods, thinking that everybody keeps a street code, which they don't. I don't care what none of y'all saying. Guys in the street is not keeping a street code or none of that. I had to learn the hard way by being stabbed in the back all the time. No sooner I decided that I wanted to do something different than sit around and stuff like that, then people started showing me who they really was. So a lot of us, a modern American black man, a lot of us, we're living a life that's not ours. I'm still smoking to this day. So this is a prime example, guys. To this day, I'm still messed up from a habit that I got from following around the wrong people. And here it go right here. Cigarettes. Okay, guys? A lot of people be getting on me on here talking about you need to stop smoking and stuff. And this is how detrimental It is if you decide to go down a path that's not meant for you. You know, um, a lot of people be scared. A lot of our aunties and uncles back in the 90s in Memphis was crazy. You know, and a lot of our aunties and uncles, you know, they was just kids as well, but now they're adults. And we're looking at them in a different light. And a lot of times they don't know more than what you know. Because if they knew more, that if you knew better, you would do better. You know, it was a time in my life where I didn't know better. And I went to juvenile prison. I went to juvenile prison for 6 months. And then I got out and went back. And then I said, I ain't never doing this again. You hear me? And that's when, you know, when I turned 18, I was like, no, this is not for me right here. When the whole time, people are holding you back. You know, they don't want you to make it. They still look at you as little junior in the back room asking for permission to do things. No, you have to, in this life, if you want anything, you're going to have to step up for it. And if you do it the wrong way, let me tell you, karma has a hard way of hitting you right back across the face. You be in the boxing ring with karma. I've been there. Pain. I'm still in trauma. I haven't even broke it yet. I'm still in trauma. And what I know is that if you try to do right and you try to think of how to do it the right way, because think about it, guys. Most of all the YNs, the everybody say now, the young brothers, a lot of the young brothers are not doing it the right way. And look what's happening to them. You know, I should have been in prison for a crime, the crime that sent me to juvenile prison. You know, I should have been in prison, but I got lucky. And you see what's happening to the YNs out here. Prison sentence, life, double life. TK just got 80 years. You know, and it was some, and you know, the judge, you know, they know they had to see a little light in me, bro. You hear me? Because when you do the right thing, like I said, if you spend your time thinking about how to scam people all the time, if you spend your time thinking about how to rob somebody, how to get over on somebody, when karma hits you, it's gonna hit you hard. It's gonna bow. You know what I'm saying? Real pain. And it's the same thing if you're a black man or a black woman and you think of doing the right thing, like going to work and think of right ways to get money. Karma's gonna hit you back and it's gonna be lovely. You know, and it's not gonna come fast, guys. It's not gonna come fast. It's a long race. And I'm being honest from personal experience. Life has beat me into a submission, but I didn't break. I got up and I kept making bad decisions until I got to a point where I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? This ain't working at all. So I need some money, you know. So let me think of good ways to make money. and look at the karma that happened. I'm in a new car. It's not 2015, but it's new. Best believe that. It's it ain't got that many miles on the mileage, and I started working jobs and going to work every day and learning and then messing my check up. I'll go and get a good job and I'll go to the casino. All these habits that we're learning are meant to hold you back from the devil, bro. I used to go to the casino with my whole check and it gone. $700, $800, $1,000 sometimes. $1,000 check gone. I'm like, dang. And then I ain't give up, though. I ain't give up. I still went to work broke. Mad. Dang, bro. I done went to the casino and got down $1,000 gone like that. I'm talking about a couple of hours. And I learned that for some of us, it ain't no easy way out of this as a man or a woman. You're going to have to grind. You're going to have to try to be as good as possible. Because once you start getting, I'm 35. I'm 35 right now, guys. And I don't feel like it. I feel like I'm about 45 years old. And this is honest to God truth. I got hit by a semi-truck in the streets. I got hit by a semi. I got metal in my ankles. And it get worse and worse every year. The older you get, your body starts to break down. What we've been putting in, I've been putting these in, we get what we put in our bodies. I'm tired all the time. I sleep a lot. I go to work, and you know what I'm saying? Like, guys, stop listening to people and get out here and try to do the right thing. When you try to do the right thing, karma gonna come right back, and it's gonna bless you. And I'm telling you, when you do the wrong thing, when I was out there in Memphis, cocking my hat to the right, gang, kicking at people doors with assault-off shotguns and 357 Magnums, karma hit me, bit me straight in the ass. Bad karma. But as soon as I start doing good and trying to do good, karma hit me right. Karma, the universe is going to apply exactly what you give it. I promise you that. And I'm going to holler, and guys, that's all I got for this video. And always remember, fellas, it's a motherfucking movie. No matter if you're doing it the wrong way, or the right way. I'm going to holler at you guys on the next video. Over and out.